Welcome back, dear viewers, and you're still watching Cairo Local Time. And in this segment of our program, we will talk about the positive role of media in raising awareness of people. And this coincides with the 26th anniversary of Nile TV International. And today we are celebrating this event with our dear guest, Dr. Mirat Sukkari. She's transformational coach. Good afternoon.
Hello. I'd also like to congratulate Nile TV. 26 years is a long time of helping people out, sending you love and blessings and more success.
So, Dr. Mirat, as today is a special event for us, we'd like first to talk about the role of media in general in different domains and its role in shaping societies.
Of course, it's very well known. It's very powerful. It's a very powerful tool, the media, in changing people's attitudes. Even if you want to change attitudes, if you want to change mindsets, I'm going to talk from my point of view, which is how to change people's mindsets so they can transform their lives or to transform their country, actually, because it's made up of people. So the role is very powerful, and if used in a studied way, in an impactful way, you can get very big results very fast.
Yes. So, Dr. Mirat, talking about media also takes us to the role of social media and how it affects people and affects the way people think and their behavior.
This is the biggest issue now, the social media, because everybody has access and everybody is impacted, actually. Just like the regular media also, it can affect you greatly. But what I want to say is, with the media, whether it's social media or TVs or any other media, what happens is you can create something called collective consciousness. Collective consciousness is the way everybody believes or thinks about any specific topic. And collective consciousness comes from psychiatry, of course. It is the role of the media, if they want to have positive change in a country, let's say, to create a collective consciousness, let's say, of empowerment, of success, of positivity. So you can use this. Now today we have the social media and the other media. If used well, if these tools are used well, you can create a collective consciousness that can economically really change any country. Not only economically, socially too. You can, because it's all about what you create through the social media, the messages. So the messages are about, let's say, empowerment. You can do it. You can really do it. You can really do it. No matter how hard it is, you can send these kind of messages.
So the role of media also in spreading positivity among people is also very important. So as a transformational coach, tell us about this role.
Again, I've been talking about positivity since 2011.
Yes.
And it's very important. Again, it all comes to the media's role in creating a new collective consciousness. Because when you create the consciousness is the way people think or believe. When you create this new one that you can be positive, when you're positive, you take different steps. So the media can really help this by the messages that they keep sending out. Instead of saying it's hard, it's difficult, there's corruption, there's this, let's say all the good things about it. So I will never forget, I was in a conference in the States, and there was a man who, also the media there a lot of times don't talk about the positive, but he created a magazine, I believe, only talking about what's positive. Only.
It's a very good idea.
It's an amazing idea. But of course it was a conference of transformational leaders.
Yes.
And it was huge. It was 3,000 people actually. But the point is, this is the media's role if you want to move forward. Again, as we talked before, I'm an economist, a development economist. So I always think of our economy. It's always on my mind. It's in my mindset. You need to be positive in order to wake up and do something good. Let's talk about this. If you're upset all night, how good do you do your job the next day? And if you're very happy, you had a really nice birthday for your daughter and you're feeling good, when you come to work the next morning, how productive are you? So your mindset, your positivity is very important. I do a lot of work with positivity.
Yes. Actually, if you are a negative person, you will not have any energy to do anything. You will always feel that you are so lazy and that you are not doing the right thing in your job. So it's very important to be positive, and it's also important for media to spread this feeling among people.
Yeah, I also like the science behind everything.
Yes.
I come from a scientific mind. So in reality, when you're negative, your mind is in a different area.
Really?
Yeah, the parts of the brain, it's called neuroscience, that are lighting up are a different area than a person who is positive. And there's a way to be taught, now that it's a science, positivity is a science, how your mind can be more positive. But if you are that and everything becomes heavy, it becomes a load, you don't want to do it.
It's true.
And you can't be productive. So even when I talk to corporates, I talk about positivity is very important in order for the company to make more profits. Something that makes sense. Positivity is very important in order for a country to have better development. So positivity everywhere. So I like this quote. I read it years back. Let me just say this, and it's Henry Ford, the man who he says, "If you think you can, and if you think you can't, you are right." So if you think you can and you believe it, you will, no matter what. And if you think you can't,
it's true.
It will be so many obstacles, and you can't, because the mind is very powerful.
So you have your ways to make people think positive. It's, as you said, it's a science. It's not just sessions.
It's actually a science. There's actually positivity psychology now, but then there's also even more powerful tools now, because they've understood the brain more. They have done scans on the brain. I don't want to go into too much science. For neuroscience now has taught us by different acts and by how you train your brain to be positive, you can do it within 30 to 90 days maximum. Some people get results within 30 days. Some people get it within 90 days. It's just about training which parts of the brain. It's like, do I put light in this room or this room? Do I wake up on the default of the picture? Is the picture pessimistic on my phone, or is the picture a beautiful sunrise? So there is a science behind it, and it's not hard. The nice thing about, really the nicest thing I found out, things that to me I thought in the beginning they were going to be really hard, and how do people do this? When I started studying, and I actually created my own programs, it's not hard. It's just having the tools. It's just knowing how. Once you know the how, you can do it.
Maybe this is a very important message to Egyptian people now who need to know how to be positive in this critical stage of our history, when we need to work and be more productive to achieve our development goals, right?
For sure.
Yes.
So they can research, they can use YouTube, Arabic, English.
Yes.
I personally have over 1,000 videos. There is a whole group on how to be more positive. I've done interviews in Arabic and in English on positivity. If you search for something, you'll find it.
You'll find it.
You'll find it for sure.
So, Dr. Mirat, also you talked to us about emotional freedom techniques, and also to what extent these techniques can affect people.
Yeah. One of the main tools that they use internationally, worldwide now, for becoming more positive and for other issues too, is emotional freedom techniques. Emotional freedom techniques is a tool that is based on how the brain works and how the body is reacting inside. So when you're not positive, there's actually certain chemicals floating in the body. And if you are positive, you have some beautiful chemicals like serotonin floating in the body. So when you use EFT, it's touching certain points of the body and speaking in a certain way, because it has a little bit of another science called neurolinguistic programming. So neurolinguistic is how to program the brain using words, plus knowledge of how the body works. So if you tap on this, it sends a message to the body, send this, send serotonin, send that. So emotional freedom techniques, actually you use it to remove the negative things in your life. So you're angry because your son won't study. You need to remove that in a physical way using EFT, so that your body is not sending the message 24/7. That's why I'm saying it's a science. And it's not hard to learn. Also, my videos are free. They're just on the net.
Yes.
You can learn how to use EFT to remove. You're sad because your other son failed, or you're sad because you did not get promoted, or you're sad because X, Y, Z happened. You can remove this emotion, because that's why EFT is actually called a mind-body technology. It's combining how the mind thinks, I'm sad, my son is not passing, and at the same time, what's happening in the body is the physical thing. The chemicals are floating in the body and sending messages. That's why if you're very angry, you can feel your heart, you can feel and then they can
Actually,
take a picture of
stress
your
and-
brain,
yes.
and they see which parts are lighting. When you use EFT, and we can do something about it one time,
Yes.
talk more about it, you break the pattern, you break the messaging. So the mind is hearing, I'm so sad, my son, and something is cutting this messaging from the brain. That's why there's a lot of science. EFT has been recommended by Harvard Medical School, is used all over the world. It's used in U.S., I don't want to go into too much, but by U.S. veterans, it's used by in Israel for the army, for sub-schools. It's used in Australia a lot with schools. It's used in hospitals. It's all over the world. I've been talking about it a lot. I brought it into the Arab world, this tool, but it is one of the main tools now to release the emotions that are making you negative. And of course, there's also, we talked about the development and success, but we're talking now about health. Because if you're always negative,
Yes.
what's going on inside? You will get sick.
It's true. It also decreases your immune system.
And you will get autoimmune diseases.
Yes.
And by the way, I just want to add, some people know my story. That was my story. I was so stressed. I got an autoimmune disease. And this is how I got into this new world, because I was a
Yes.
financial advisor. And when I got the autoimmune disease, because I was carrying all this negativity. And that's why I've studied so much in this. And one of the main problems with stress and negativity is you're ruining your health. Alhamdulillah, I healed using these tools.
Really?
And now I'm off medicine since 2009, and that's the year I decided to start teaching
help
these
people.
things. I changed my career, I did everything.
You decided to get out of the stress zone in your life.
And even, okay, I learned the tools, so I could have continued finance and economics, but I also decided, because we don't have these tools and knowledge in our countries, not just Egypt, the whole Middle East, I looked and Googled everywhere, it was only in Israel. I decided I need to do this and forget about finance, because there's a lot of good financial people in Egypt. So I said, no, I'm going to do EFT. And I started on a mission to
Changed
teach.
your career
Totally, to teach and
to something
have more
that
people.
you really enjoy.
I love, I enjoy, and it's a mission now. It's like I need to do this for the, I'm not a young
You want to
person.
help people, yes.
To help and leave something for the country that they can use, because it's a very empowering tool.
Yes.
It take hours
It's
to
very
explain.
important tool also for youths these days who need more positivity in their life, who need to choose their careers in the right way and not to give up easily.
Yes.
So how can you help them through your work?
Same idea is how to learn the tool. The tool is self-help. You don't need to go to someone all the time, which is amazing.
Yes.
Once they have mastered the tool, so we do workshops, we explain, or I do it on TV, or I do it on the YouTube. Once they know how to use the tool, they can help themselves. And as you said, it's not, one part is removing the negativity. One part is telling the brain, now it's all mind body, so you can tell the brain, I can do it. I'm fine, I can, positive. So when you program your mind that way, you can do it. And anybody who has ever succeeded in anything, they program their mind. If you talk about opera, you talk about any leaders, they program their mind that they can do it. If you read self-development, that's what they did. They convinced their mind, it wasn't called programming then, but today we know it's called programming because it's neuroprogramming. They told their mind every single day, yes, I can do this. Yes, I can invent something that will fly like the airplane. Yes, I can go. When Kennedy said, put a man on the moon, they said, we can. They did not tell him no, by the way. They had no clue how. This is the story, but they said, we'll do it. So I feel it in my body. And they did it because they just were one side, were doing it. They didn't have the doubts. So this tool, you can use it to remove doubts, whatever. It's just talking to your brain, as you now have the key to talking to your brain. So for the youth, I would recommend get on my YouTube channel and start learning EFT. Start learning EFT.
Yes.
Well, I've also done a lot of things in schools and different areas, but of course it doesn't cover the 100 million.
You told me that you have a program to empower youth, or you are interested in this
I'm
issue.
very, very interested in empowering the
youth.
youth because, as I said, I'm a development economist, and Egypt is very dear to me.
Yes.
And yeah, too much.
Yeah.
So my mission is, it is the youth who are going to develop this country. Who else?
True.
And I really, really, really believe in them, and I see things maybe others don't see, because I'm an energy, I'm connected a bit.
Yes.
So I can feel their energy, and they are doing a great job. They're not that well empowered sometimes. There's still a lot of obstacles, but still it is the youth who are going to do this. And they are. You will find them very creative. They're coming up with ideas. And they're managing no matter what, as I say. So one of my programs is called Positive No Matter What. Yeah. The youth are now in Egypt managing no matter what. So many difficulties, they're still doing it. And I just admire them so much. So I'd love to give more to that area if that's possible. I've helped small groups like business women, young business women through, I'm not going to say the NGO or not an NGO, it was a donor, some donor who was supporting them. Or I've done Business Women of Egypt. I've done some things small like this, but it hasn't spread enough. But for the youth, I'm very open to help them.
So also, Dr. Mirat, increasing the productivity of the whole Egyptian society is very important. So what are your tips to them?
My tips to them is they need to work on themselves to remove the what we call limiting beliefs.
Yes.
And you've brought up a very important, I don't know if I can say this. I actually did have a proposal to the Ministry of Planning 3 years ago with how to release limiting beliefs so the labor in the companies can be more productive.
Yes.
Because this tool can be used that way. It's a belief system. If you have a belief system, it doesn't matter what I do or don't do. I don't need to work a lot, they don't pay me a lot. This is beliefs. I spent a year working on this myself. What are the beliefs? Because I come from the corporate. I know what the business world is. 35 years I was an employee in corporate as a banker, stock market. I was in the Egyptian stock market. I was working on the privatization company. I worked through 5 ministries, supporting them in different economic policies like Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Economy.
So you were working under stress.
I know what it's like. No, I know what the country looks like. From the labor, because I worked on privatization, I knew from the labor to the management of the stock exchange or the ministers, because I've dealt with all the levels, the strata. So actually, yes, we can help our country with the belief system and increase productivity using such a tool. It will take some time. It will take maybe 6 months of training and going back and explaining, but yes, you can use these tools to grow your country. And as I said, other countries are doing it now. Other countries are doing it. You can Google and find it yourself, you know.
So also talking about the role of media, back to our main topic. So tell me more about the role of media in reflecting the real development taking place now in Egypt and the mega projects and the achievements done by the government. How can we?
How can you? Yeah, I would love to see programs that are like regular programs showing young success. Why not have a program every week talking to one person within 35 to 40 years who has created some kind of creative project and is doing it?
Yes.
Why not have another program talking just about the obstacles and bringing it to the light of how the young people are trying to do? Because their problems are different from the people who are huge business people. And that comes also, I was in a bank as a credit officer, so we were looking at feasibility studies. They don't have the money to borrow 10 million pounds. They need small. So maybe that you need to bring in the success stories, and there are success stories. I'm not going to mention names, but we know there's a few young men or women in Egypt that have done very successfully.
So you're talking about supporting entrepreneurs and
yes, we can support all these young entrepreneurs, but bring to light the successes and their stories. So that's a show we watch. I don't want the shows that tell me the problems. I want a show that tells me, look at Mirat, what she has created. Look at so-and-so. Look at so-and-so. So that's something that the media needs to do that. The media also, quite frankly, for productivity and support, needs to start bringing in the new sciences that other countries are talking about. The new mind-body sciences. I will never forget one of my assistants in the office I had. She said, why isn't there a whole channel talking about all these new sciences? Not just EFT, neuro-linguistic programming, other sciences. Why isn't there a whole channel where we watch this and fill our brain like this? And I said, of course I wish. So we need the media, if it really wants to have a stronger role in the growth of this economy, it needs to have a stronger mission and what to bring to this country.
Yes.
And it needs to also become modernized with a fast pace.
Yes. So finally, I'd like to thank you, Dr. Mirat Al-Sukkari, Transformational Coach. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you so much.
And dear viewers, by that we come to the end of today's edition of Cairo Local Time. Stay tuned for more is coming up on Nile TV International.